So as always, we start our practice with a centering, and this is to just sort of determine where we are, sort of taking an internal inventory of where we are before we can get to where we want to be or, uh, you know, transform, just acknowledging where we are. So we do that with a centering. So finding your comfortable seat and lengthening the spine upwards, just lifting the shoulders up, roll the shoulders back and release them down. And then with the eyelids closed, again, take nice, long, easy breath and exhale. Big letting go. Maybe sigh it out. Good. Again, nice, long, easy in breath and exhale, sigh it out. And then noticing the distant sounds, noting the sounds from beyond the room. The sounds from within the room. Maybe the sounds from inside your ears or your body. And being present to the sensation, noticing where your body is connecting to the mat or the earth. Noting the feel of the shirt against the back. The hands touching the thighs or knees. And then noting the sensation of breath entering the nostrils. And slowly draw that breath in. And as you inhale, just feel the movement in the chest. As the chest expands with each in-breath, and as it falls with each out-breath, just being present to that subtle sensation. And as you follow the breath inward, noticing what your interior experience is like today. What is the general state of your being? Noting the effects of how you slept, what you've had to eat, the weather, the stress of your to-do list. And then noticing your emotional state, just being present to the energy of the internal stress. And noticing where in the body you tend to store your stress. And then noticing where the mind is. Is the mind distracted by issues in life or issues in the world? And as you note your state of being, noting what it is you like from your yoga practice today, and set an intention for our time together. And then with awareness on that intention, take in the sound of the bell, following it to the end. Good, and then as you inhale, lift up through the crown of the head. And on the exhale, bring the chin to the chest, relaxing the shoulders down, and feel the stretch to the back of the neck. Let the head hang, let the shoulders relax. And then slowly roll the head to the right, just so the right ear is over the right shoulder. And then reach that right arm out to the side. Reach over to your left ear. And then draw a little circle on the wall with the right elbow. Noticing sensation on the left side of the neck. Good, and then release, lift the head back to neutral, and then switch sides. Tilt the left ear over to the left. Reach that left arm out, reach over to your right ear, and then draw a little circle on the wall with the left elbow. Good, and then release that motion, lifting the head back to neutral. And now let's just do a little backstroke with the shoulders, lifting the shoulders up, back, and down. Good, and then reverse direction, bringing the shoulders forward and down. Good, and now reach the arms out in front of you and just wiggle the fingers. And then interlace the fingers and turn the palms out. Reach the arms out in front of you. And then draw the arms up. So inhale, lift and lengthen. Nice full breath with a wide open chest. And slowly bring the hands behind the head, lifting the chin up. So hands are by the occipital ridge, chin is up, elbows wide. Nice full breath here. And then slowly lower the hands onto the shoulders and draw a circle with the elbows. And then reverse direction. Good, and let that motion come to stillness, bringing the hands back down. And then bring the left hand over to your right knee, right hand behind you. And as you inhale, lift the torso up and exhale, twist, looking over your shoulder. Good, come back to center and then same thing other side. Right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, lift and exhale, twist. Good, and then come back to center. And now take the hands onto the knees and draw a big circle with the torso. Good, and then reverse direction. And let that circling come to stillness. And now slide the feet out in front of you. Gonna scoot back here. So lengthen the legs out in front of you, and then point and flex. Toes, heels, toes, heels. And then circle the feet around the ankles. And then reverse direction. Good. With that motion comes to stillness. And now let's bring the right foot up by the left hip, up by your right hip. And then we're going to lean back on our left elbow. So if you may need a block to place underneath your elbow. And if so, lean back on that block. And then see if you can relax up the right quadricep there. And if that's too deep of a stretch, then maybe place your palm on the block. But figure out what sort of stretch you can get here and create a nice deep stretch in the right quadricep. Maybe you can have both elbows on the floor behind you. And then let's pause here. Take a breath, and as you exhale, just let that right quadricep soften. And then lift the hands back up, and let's slide the foot and bring the bottom of the foot inside the opposite thigh. So right foot is nestled against the left thigh. And then lift the torso up, slide the hands out to take hold of the left foot, ankles, calf, wherever the hands meet. And then lower the chin down. Relax that right knee out to the side. Little Janu Shirshasana here, seated forward bend. As you exhale, just let any tension soften. Good, and then release, walk the hands back up, and then slide that right leg out. And let's repeat the sequence on the other side. So bring your left foot by your left hip. Again, come back onto your right elbow, placing the block underneath your elbows if you need that, or coming down onto both elbows, whatever works for you. So now we're feeling the stretch in the left quadricep. Relax that thigh. Good, and then lift the torso up and bring that foot around, placing it inside the right thigh. And then reach down to the foot, ankle, calf, wherever the hands reach, and then lower the chin down. Settle into this stretch, noticing where you're feeling the stretch here, maybe in the back of the body or the hip area, left hip. And as you exhale, invite it to soften. Good, and then release, lift the torso back up, and let's slide that leg out, and just bounce the knees up and down. Good, and now from here, let's take your tennis ball. Hopefully you have a tennis ball handy. And then place it right underneath your right knee. And then squeeze the calf towards the thigh with the ball underneath your right knee. Then lift the torso up. Good, and now we're going to keep the ball under the right knee and then stretch the right leg out on the mat, pressing the ball into the back of the knee by just resting on it. And so just gently massage the right kneecap now. Good, and then release that, and we'll do the same thing other side. But actually, first, let's just wiggle the legs side to side and notice the difference between the right and left knees. Noting if the right knee feels a little freer. So same thing other side, ball under your left knee, squeeze that calf towards the thigh, lift up through the torso, nice and tall. Good, and then lengthen that leg out, pressing the ball behind the left knee, and then just gently massaging that left kneecap. Good, and then release and move the ball off to the side. And now from here, let's transition onto the hands and knees. So come to table pose. And if you need a little cushioning underneath your knees, you can roll up the back of your mat so it's under your knees, or place a little blanket or something there to support comfort. So we have the knees underneath the hips, the wrists underneath the shoulders, and then let's start by drawing a little circle with the hips. And then reverse direction. Noticing the range of motion in the hips. Gonna let that motion come to stillness. And then moving into cat-cow by taking in a breath and then exhaling as you arch the back, chin to chest, tailbone tucked under into cat tilt. And with the next in-breath, lift the tailbone up, lower the belly down, and lift up through the crown of the head. Inhaling into dog tilt or cow tilt. Exhale, arch the back, chin to chest. And inhale, up. So just continue moving with the breath, and awareness is following sensation in the spine. Just inviting a nice luxurious movement and stretch. It's important to do the sequence every day to keep the spine flexible. Good, and then return back to starting position with a flat back, head down. And then taking a breath, and as you exhale, bring the right ear to the right hip. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left ear to left hip. Inhale to center, and just move with the breath. Exhale to the side. Inhale to center. Exhale, other side. Good, and then return back to starting position. Step the knees together. And now as you inhale, lift that right knee straight out to the right. And as you exhale, lower it down. Good, inhale, knee to the right. Exhale, lower down. Just continue moving with the breath. Inhale, knee up. Exhale, down. Good, and then lift that knee up and hold. And then circle the right knee. Good, and then release, lower that leg back next to the left leg. And then same thing on the side. Inhale, lift that left knee out to the side. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Just moving with the breath. Lift and lower. Good, and then lift and hold. And then circle that left knee. Good, and then release that knee down. And we'll move into a plank pose, but there's several ways of doing plank pose, and we'll start with maybe the easiest, and then make it a little more difficult. So we can start with half plank pose, where we keep the knees on the mat, and then just lower the hips down with the hands right underneath the shoulders, and then bring the chin parallel to the mat. Half plank. You can also do this with the elbows down, interlacing the hands, so that's pretty easy too, with the elbows beneath the shoulders, knees are still on the mat. Or if you want a little more challenge, bring the palms flat and tuck the toes under, coming into full plank with the straight line from the shoulders, hips to ankles. So find your plank, and let's pause here. Just noticing your breath, and let the breath be slow and steady. And noticing too what your mind is saying, and see if you can discern between the mind's chatter and the sensation that's happening in the body. And now let's bring the right knee right underneath the navel. Left leg, left toes are tucked back under. And then slide the right hand in front of the right knee, and then just pivot a little bit, bringing that right foot to the side, and then left arm up. So we're coming into a little side plank here. Look up at the raised hand if that works for your neck. Now a little more challenge here is to take that bottom foot, whoops, like I said, a little more challenge. Take that bottom foot underneath the top foot and find your balance. Again, notice your breath. Let the breath be slow and steady. And then release, pivoting around. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other side. Turn this way. So find your plank once again. And then let's bring the left knee right underneath the navel. And then bring the right foot flush to the mat, bringing the foot to the outside of the mat, and the left hand is in line with the knee and ankle. Reach the right arm up. Look up at the raised hand if that works for you. And again, if you want a little more challenge here, slide that bottom foot underneath the top foot, coming into Vasisthasana, half plank, or side half plank. Good, and then back to plank pose. And let's come to table pose. And then lift the torso up. So we're in a kneeling position. And then reach the arms out in front of you. Tuck the tailbone under and bring a slight squeeze in the buttocks. And then as you inhale, shift the torso back. And as you exhale, shift the torso forward. Good. Inhale, shift back. And exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Good, and then inhale back and hold. Good, and then come forward, release the hands down, and let's now step up to a standing position. See if you can do that without touching the floor. All right, so let's take the ball again and bring the ball underneath your right foot. And then roll the ball up and down. And then bring the ball under the ball of the foot. Release the heel down to the earth, and then gently lean forward. Good, and then release, and let's roll the ball under the heel, stepping directly on the ball. Good, and then release, and again, roll the ball up and down. Good, and then release, and just noticing the difference between the right and left foot. And then let's repeat to the opposite side. So take the ball into your left foot, and then roll it up and down. Good, and then take the ball under the ball of the foot, release the heel down, and then lean forward. Feeling a stretch in the back of the left calf. Good, and then release and take the ball under the foot, under the heel. Good, and then release, and again, roll the ball up and down. Good, and then release. And now let's move the ball off to the side. And let's prepare for a little moon salutation. We did sun salutation the other day. Tonight is actually the full moon. It's August 11th. So, moon salutation. So step to the left side of your mat. Start with the palms together in front of the heart. Straight line, elbow to elbow. Taking a deep breath, and as you exhale, just reflecting on the moon's effects on the tides and on your being. And then very slowly rotate the fingers towards the earth, lower the arms down, and then outline the shape of a full moon with the hands as you reach the hands overhead. And then gently arch over to your right. Good, lift back to center, and then gently arch over to your left. Good, and lift back to center. And now step to your right, bending the knees and bending the elbows. And then straighten the arms and legs into five-pointed star. And now shift the torso to your right. Reach that right hand down, coming into triangle, looking up at the raised left hand if that works for your neck. Good, lift the torso back to neutral. And then same thing other side, triangle to the left. Shift the torso to your left, hand down, head up. Good, lift back to neutral here. And then as you exhale, reach the fingers to the opposite toes. Lift back up. And then same thing other side. Fingers to opposite toes. Lift back up. Again, bend the knees, bend the elbows into goddess pose. And now step the right foot back to meet the left, hands overhead. And then arch to your left into half moon. Lift back to center and arch to your right in half moon. Good, come back to center. And then slowly lower the hands out to the sides and down. And then bring the hands together in front of the heart. Good, and then exhale, letting go. All right, so that was one complete round, and we'll do it again. And this time we'll coordinate the rhythm of the movement with the rhythm of the breath. So starting with the palms in Anjali Mudra, torso nice and tall, feet parallel. Good, taking a breath. And on the exhale, rotate the fingertips towards the earth. And on the inhale, sweep the arms out to the sides, bringing the hands together overhead, interlacing all but the index fingers. And as you exhale, arch to your right. Good. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, arch to your left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, stepping into goddess pose. Bend the knees, bend the elbows. Inhale as you straighten the arms and legs, five-pointed star. Exhale as you shift the torso to your right, coming into triangle pose. Look up if that works for your neck. Inhale, back to neutral or five-pointed star. Exhale, other side. Left hand down, right arm up. Look up if that works for your neck. Inhale, back to neutral. And now exhale, left fingertips to right toes. Inhale, back up. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows. Inhale, step the feet together. Exhale to your left, half moon. Inhale to center. Exhale, half moon to your right. Inhale to center. Exhale, extend the arms out to the sides, outlining the shape of a full moon. Palms together. Inhale the hands over the heart. And exhale, letting go. Good, and then just pause and feel the effects of moon salutation, Chandra Namaskar. Good, so let's do it one more time. 3 times the charm. Palms together in front of the heart, straight line elbow to elbow, torso nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, fingertips to the earth. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, half moon to your right. Inhale. Exhale to your left. Inhale. Exhale, step to your right. Bend the knees, bend the elbows. Inhale the 5-pointed star. Exhale, triangle to your right. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, triangle to your left. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, fingertips to toes. Inhale, back up. Exhale, fingertips to opposite toes. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows. Inhale, step the right foot back, arms overhead. Exhale to your left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, extend the arms down. Inhale, hands over the heart. Exhale, release. And letting go. Just feeling the effects of Chandra Namaskar. Good. Okay, let's do a little heel lift. So just sort of rock back and forth, and as you rock, let the heels come off slightly off the mat. And then let's see if you can lift the heels all the way up and just hold, standing on your tiptoes. Torso nice and tall. Good, and then lower the back down. And now shifting the weight over to your right, so the weight's balanced just over the right leg. And then lift the left foot up behind you. If you can bring that foot into the hand, great. If not, just hang out with the foot a few inches above the earth. And then reach the right arm out in front of you, coming into little dancer, Natraji. Good, and then release, lower the foot, and switch sides. So shift the weight over the left leg. Find your drishti, your focal point, something stationary at floor level or eye level, and then lift that foot up. Reach the opposite arm out in front of you. Torso nice and tall. Breath slow and steady. Good, and then slowly release the hand down and place that foot back to the earth. And then shake the arms, shake the legs. Good, and then step towards the front of your mat and step the feet nice and wide apart. So like a little wider than hips width. We're going to come into a squatting position here. So you might want to have your blocks handy. But let's bend the knees and see if you can bring the hands all the way down to a squatting position. Hands either on the mat or you can place some palms together. This is a deep hip stretch, obviously. And then release, bring the hands behind you and have a seat. And then gently rock back, lifting the feet up, lifting the lower back up. And then release the arms out to the sides. And then slowly extend the torso away from the thighs. You'll start to tremble here, probably feeling the abdominal muscles getting talked to. And then slowly come onto the back. Just pause here for a few breaths and just feel the energy settling in the body. Good, and now lift both knees up to the chest and draw a little circle with the knees. And then circle in the opposite direction. Good, and then release. And now step the feet about as wide as your mat is, maybe a little wider than hips width. Place the feet on the mat. Knees are bent. And then reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And then fold the elbows and place your hands on your opposite elbow. And then slowly lower the knees over to your left. So the knees are not touching each other, but they're more sort of pinwheeling that left foot towards the right knee. And then turn your torso to your right, coming into a nice knee down twist. And then lift the knees back to neutral, lift the elbows back to neutral. And then the same thing other side, lower the knees to your right, turn the head and elbows to your left. Nice deep twist. So the feet are still 3 feet apart from one another. Good, and then lift the knees back up to neutral. And invite the body to stretch and move in any way that will support you in completing your practice before we come into Shavasana for relaxation meditation. It would feel just right for you to listen to your body. Feeling the points of contact between your body and the earth. And as you exhale, allow those points of contact to soften. Letting the breath be slow and steady. Let all the energy in the body just settle. Muddy water, let stand, becomes clear. Noticing what clarity comes to you in stillness. Allowing things to be just as they are. And then from this place of inner attunement, let your awareness come back to the fingers, back to the toes. And invite the body to stretch and move as though waking up for the first time today. Just gradually drawing the knees up to the chest and just gently rocking side to side. And then finding your way back up to a seated position without disturbing your relaxation. Good, and then sitting nice and tall. And just taking a deep breath and exhale, letting go. And acknowledging yourself for taking this time to nurture yourself in body, mind, and spirit. And in gratitude for our time together, let's share in the ancient sound of peace and harmony, the sound of Om by inhaling. Om peace, peace Om. Namaste.